Hey, what's up, everybody? As you know, this is Ben on Xbox. I am Gideon. Today, I want to talk about a game that I've enjoyed playing lately called This War of Mine. This War of Mine, basically, what it is. A lot of games are war games. So when you're the commander of the army or first-person shooter, whatever not. This is a game told from the perspective of the refugees or the people living in a war-torn city. So, as you can see from some of the video, it follows, I think in this scenario where I have recorded here, that's 3 different survivors living inside a house. They all have a backstory. They all have things about them that make them more particular to do one or the other type of thing, right? So the idea is they're squatting in this house. They have a limited amount of supplies with them, and as you go throughout the game, it's kind of I guess you could call it a survival game, but it's completely dependent upon your willingness to do what you need to get the supplies you need to live. So, like in this scenario right here on the screen, I'm trading things that I have with a guy who will come to your house every 2 or 3 days. Now, things you have to be aware of in this game, as far as like what you need to do to survive. Obviously, food. Your people have to eat. They can go through different stages of not having eaten for a day or 2 or 3. Then it gets pretty bad. I'm to the point like I've never actually had a person die from starvation before in this game. I've only ever had them get killed by other survivors in the city, but they can die from starvation. They can die from being sick. They can die from wounds that are untreated. So, let's say somebody shoots you while you're out scavenging and you don't have bandages or anything to fix it. Eventually your guy can die from that sort of stuff. Now, some of the things about this game, so the game runs in 2 different cycles. There's a daytime cycle, which you're seeing right now. So you have all the different rooms in your house, and then you have a nighttime cycle, which you're looking at right here, where in the daytime, it's basically time to do whatever you need to do around the house, fix things up, build a bed, build heating, make food, whatever it is. Now, at the nighttime, this is basically when you go shopping, or when the game is really determined. Now, admittedly, you can make dumb choices during the day that end up screwing you over in the long run, but if you cannot go out and find and collect the right things at the night in this game, you're screwed during the day. And that's when you have to decide, well, do I want to feed this person today, or do I want to let them go hungry for another day or 2? At the end of the night, they come back with the stuff they have, and it goes into the community stash, things like that. This is the sort of game, too, where you can play however you want. Let's say you want to be a raider. You want to be a mean person. You want to go out and basically take as much as you can from everybody you see. There are hospitals in the game. There are old retired couples living inside their home that's locked up. You can break into these houses. You can kill the people in there. You can raid the hospital, do whatever you want. But if you do these sort of things in the game, your characters will actually go into depression, and it makes it so they'll run away, or I've never played that way where you go out and kill bad people, or you become a bad person. But I guess I really have no idea. I have no idea what would happen if you did that. But I know there are negative consequences in the games doing things like that. Now, what I like about this game overall, I like the story element. I like the human element. I like that, the first time you play through the game, you have Marco, what's his name, Bruno, and Pavel. These three players that you can play as, and each one has good things about it. Like one guy is a good cook, one guy can go out and scavenge more than the other guy, and one guy can run really fast. In the Xbox version of this, which I've actually beaten this game 2 or 3 times in different scenarios, but it came out on Xbox One recently on their kind of deals with gold, special deals, so I picked it up for about $15. This is the expansion version called The Little Ones, that actually adds children into the game. So depending on what you do in the game, kids are involved in it, and do you feed the kid? You teach the kid how to do things on their own. They can't go out and scavenge at night. They can't do certain things like open the front door or trade with people, but they have an effect on your other people. So, like, again, if one of your guys is going out murdering at night, the other people in the house will begin to dislike him and lose trust, lose faith in him. I'm considering doing a playthrough just to see what it's like to do those things. I just never enjoy it. Like, I have a hard time playing a game as an evil person or as a villain. But again, you can do that in this if that's what you want. This scenario you're looking at right now, this is a guy with a sick father, and if you bring him certain things, you can trade, and he'll give you a lot of money for a med kit or for pills or whatever. He'll give you guns, things like that. So it's a good game in that you have to deal with the consequences of your actions. You have to deal with what's called permadeath in these games, where if your guy dies at night, he's dead, he's gone. You now have 2 people living in your house. And then you have to deal with the depression that your people go through from doing all that and from having their friend die. Overall, it's a pretty simple game. There's not a lot of mechanics to it. It can be a little bit frustrating with the learning curve, especially once you start getting into combat and having to shoot raiders or bandits, things like that. But overall, I highly recommend it. I really love this game. It's been good enough that I've bought it twice on 2 different systems, on the console and on the PC. So if that sounds something that you would enjoy, I highly recommend it. It's been one of the more enjoyable games I've played in a while. It's been one of the more stressful games, and it's been one of the more emotionally investing games I've played in a while. So let me know what you think. If you pick it up, comment, tell me what you thought about the game, and I'll see you next time.